The streets of Nova Arcadia were alive with lights, colors, and sounds that seemed almost too strange for human eyes. Floating transport pods zoomed between towering buildings, their glass surfaces reflecting the neon signs in dozens of colors. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved through the crowds, some with wings, some with extra limbs, and others with skin that shimmered like liquid metal. Humans were outnumbered here, and most of them kept to themselves, careful not to draw attention. Ethan walked through the busy square, adjusting the strap of his satchel that held his medical supplies. He was not a soldier, not a spy, not an explorer, just a doctor. Yet somehow in a city that felt alien in every way, he felt more alert than ever. His senses were tuned to notice even the smallest signs of trouble. That's when he saw her. She was small, barely 10 years old, standing at the edge of the square. Her bright violet-colored eyes scanned the crowd frantically. Her skin glowed faintly under the city lights, a pale lavender hue, and her long hair, silver with streaks of blue, fell in messy strands over her shoulders. She was crying silently, but there was desperation in her gestures that even a human could understand. "My mom. Please, she's dying? Someone help," she whispered, her voice trembling. It was broken, mixing alien tones with common, the universal language humans and aliens used. Most people passed by without noticing, heads down, pretending not to hear. Aliens looked at her with suspicion and humans with fear. No one wanted to get involved. Ethan hesitated for only a moment. Something in the girl's eyes stopped him. The raw panic, the hope, the trust that dared to reach out to a human. He could not walk away. He stepped toward her. The crowd seemed to part as he moved, but no one said anything. He reached down to her level and knelt. "Hey," he said gently. "I'm a doctor. I can help. Tell me what happened." The girl blinked as if she could not believe someone had stopped. She glanced around as if expecting someone else to come forward. When no one did, she grabbed his hand. Her grip was surprisingly strong for someone so small. "My mom, she is very sick," she said, her voice breaking again. "The doctors? They cannot cure her. Only humans can." Ethan frowned slightly, curious and concerned. Humans treating alien illnesses was rare, but not impossible. His work in xenomedicine had taught him that human biology sometimes held solutions no other species could provide. "What kind of illness?" he asked. She swallowed hard, tears welling in her eyes. "A virus. It changes fast. The alien medicines, they fail. My mom, she is the diplomat, the one who keeps the peace. If she dies..." Her voice trailed off, but Ethan understood. If she died, it would not just be a personal tragedy. It could cause political chaos, even war. "I will help," he said firmly, "but you have to take me to her. Can you do that?" The girl nodded quickly, relief flooding her expression. Yes, I can. But we must hurry. The city, the guards, they do not allow humans here." They moved quickly through the streets, Ethan following her lead. The girl, who introduced herself as Lyra, guided him through narrow alleys and hidden portals that only locals knew. Drones hovered nearby, their cameras scanning for anything unusual, and alien patrols walked in precise measured steps, scanning for unauthorized visitors. Most humans would have been afraid, but Ethan felt a strange sense of focus. Every challenge was a problem to solve. Every obstacle was an opportunity to help. As they reached a less crowded district, Lyra paused. "We are close," she whispered. "The quarantine chamber? Mother is there. But the entrance? It is locked. Only authorized beings can get in." Ethan looked at the metal door, smooth and cold, with alien symbols etched into its surface. He reached into his satchel and pulled out a compact scanner he had designed for situations like this. "We'll see if we can bypass this," he said quietly. Lyra watched him nervously. You really think you can?" she asked. Ethan smiled gently. "I'm human. We find a way." He studied the scanner and the door carefully. Humans had a different approach than most aliens. Where they saw rigid rules and barriers, humans saw patterns and weaknesses. With a few precise adjustments, he interfaced the scanner with the alien system. Lights flickered and the symbols on the door shifted. Lyra gasped. It is working." The door slid open with a low hum, revealing a long corridor bathed in soft green light. At the end of the corridor, a figure lay on a raised platform, connected to tubes and monitors. Even from this distance, Ethan could see she was gravely ill. Her skin shimmered faintly, but it had a dull, sickly tint. Her breathing was shallow and her eyes were closed. Lyra rushed forward, grabbing her mother's hand. "Mom, please, wake up." Ethan stepped closer, analyzing the readings on the alien monitors. The virus was unlike anything he had seen before. It mutated rapidly, adapting to conventional alien treatments. Only a human-derived antibody could stop it. He set down his bag and prepared his instruments. Time was short. Every second mattered. As he began the delicate procedure, an alarm blared through the chamber. Red lights flashed, and the air was filled with a low, urgent hum. The security system had detected unauthorized entry. Ethan froze for a moment, then focused. Panic would not help anyone. He adjusted the dosage, carefully blending human antibodies with the alien medical apparatus. The virus was aggressive, but humans had something alien medicine did not: adaptability, intuition, and the ability to improvise. Lyra stood close, watching every move. Her hands trembled, but she did not speak. She trusted Ethan completely, and that trust gave him strength. "We can do this," he whispered to himself, then to her. "We just need a little time." Seconds stretched into minutes, each one heavy with tension. The virus mutated faster than expected, but Ethan adapted quickly. He adjusted the injection, rerouted energy from the alien system, and even recalibrated the monitors using his own knowledge of human medicine. Finally, the readings stabilized. The virus slowed, its mutation rate dropping. Ethan exhaled, sweat forming on his brow. "It's working," he said softly. Just as hope began to fill the room, the security team arrived. Alien guards, tall and imposing, blocked the corridor. "Unauthorized human detected," one of them shouted in a voice that was both mechanical and cold. Ethan looked at Lyra. "Stay calm," he whispered. "I'll handle this." He stepped forward, showing his medkit and the stabilized readings. "Your patient is stable," he said firmly. "She is responding to treatment. I have expertise in xenomedicine. I only want to help." The guards hesitated. Alien bureaucracy was strict, and humans were often distrusted, but the proof of healing was undeniable. Slowly, they allowed him to continue, though their eyes remained suspicious. Lyra's mother stirred, her eyes fluttering open. She looked at Ethan, then at her daughter. A weak smile crossed her face. "Lyra, you brought him," she whispered. Lyra nodded, tears of relief streaming down her face. I knew a human could help." Ethan adjusted the monitors, ensuring the treatment continued properly. "She's strong," he said. "She just needs more time and care. Humans and aliens working together, that's what will save her." The room fell quiet except for the soft hum of the monitors and the steady breathing of Lyra's mother. Ethan looked at the girl. "You were brave to seek help," he said. "Most people would have walked away." Lyra shook her head. "I had to. No one else would. Only humans, they help when it matters most." For the first time, Ethan felt the weight of what humans represented in the galaxy. Not just strength or intelligence, but courage, empathy, and the willingness to act when it counted. One human, he realized, could make a difference no alien technology could achieve alone. As night fell over Nova Arcadia, the lights of the city reflecting off the buildings, Ethan knew the challenge was not over. The virus was still a threat, the alien authorities still wary, and the political consequences still unclear. But in that moment, as Lyra's mother regained strength, one truth shone brighter than all else. Humans could shine even among the stars, and for Lyra, that human was no longer a stranger. He was a hero. The door to the chamber remained open, the city alive outside, and Ethan looked at the skyline. Tomorrow would bring more challenges, but tonight a life was saved. And in the heart of a desperate alien girl, hope had returned. The city outside Nova Arcadia seemed almost peaceful compared to the tension inside the quarantine chamber. Ethan stood over Lyra's mother, carefully monitoring her vital signs. The virus was slowing, but it was still dangerous. The alien immune system was strong, but this particular strain adapted faster than anything Ethan had ever seen. One wrong move and the progress they had made could vanish. Lyra sat by her mother's side, holding her hand tightly. Her small fingers trembled, but her eyes were wide with hope. "Will she be okay?" she whispered, voice cracking. Ethan gave her a small, reassuring smile. "Yes, she will. But we need to stay focused. The virus is clever and it changes quickly. That's why humans and aliens need to work together. Sometimes the difference between life and death is how fast you can adapt." Lyra nodded, though her eyes betrayed her worry. Ethan adjusted the medical instruments, mixing human antibodies with the alien system. Every adjustment was critical and every second counted. He had learned that the virus did not respond to brute force or alien medicine alone. It required creativity, intuition, and courage, the very things humans excelled at. Suddenly, the monitors beeped loudly, indicating a new mutation. The virus was resisting the treatment again. Ethan's heart pounded, but he forced himself to stay calm. Panic would not save anyone. He studied the readings, tracing the mutation's pattern. Then he smiled slightly. "Ah, clever little virus," he muttered. "But you made one mistake." Lyra tilted her head. "What mistake?" "You underestimated humans," Ethan said quietly. "We don't just follow rules. We find solutions. Watch carefully." He adjusted the dosage again, this time introducing a modified antibody that could adapt on the fly. The alien monitors flickered as the system processed the new treatment. Ethan held his breath. Slowly, the readings began to stabilize. The mutation slowed, then stopped. The virus was under control. Lyra gasped. "It's working." "Yes," Ethan said, relief softening his expression. "It's working, but she still needs time to recover completely." He patted her hand gently. "You did well by finding help. That bravery, that's what saved her." The door to the chamber opened suddenly. The alien authorities arrived, their tall armored forms filling the entrance. They had been skeptical of a human performing such critical work. Their faces were cold, but their eyes were curious as they saw the stabilized monitors and the weak but conscious diplomat lying on the platform. One of the officials stepped forward, his voice firm but not unkind. "Human, explain this. How did you achieve what our top physicians could not?" Ethan stood tall. "With respect, it was not about what I could do alone. It was about combining human adaptability with alien technology. Your medicines were advanced, but the virus adapted to them. Humans can improvise, react quickly, and use intuition in ways other species cannot. That made the difference." The official regarded him silently for a long moment. Then slowly he nodded. "It seems humans are more valuable than we thought. Your actions have saved a life that could have cost many more. For that you are acknowledged." Lyra's mother stirred again, opening her eyes fully this time. She reached for Ethan's hand, her strength returning slowly. "You saved me," she said softly, her voice filled with gratitude. "I do not understand how, but I know that humans, they are remarkable." Ethan smiled. "You were strong too. She would not have survived without your bravery, Lyra." Lyra hugged her mother, tears streaming down her face. Ethan watched them, a quiet satisfaction filling him. This was why humans mattered in the galaxy, not just for technology, or politics or power, but for courage, compassion, and the willingness to act when it mattered most. The alien officials continued to watch, still cautious but now respectful. One of them stepped closer to Lyra and Ethan. "Perhaps we have underestimated humanity. Your quick thinking and adaptability, it is a gift that our species cannot match." Ethan nodded. "Humans have always survived by finding solutions. When faced with impossible odds, we do what we must. Sometimes that means stepping forward when others step back." Lyra's mother squeezed his hand. "I will never forget this. You have shown us the best of your species. In doing so, you have reminded all of us that courage and empathy are more powerful than fear." Outside the chamber, the city lights glowed softly, and the noise of Nova Arcadia seemed distant, almost peaceful. Ethan knew this moment was only temporary. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers, and humans were still a minority in most places. But for now, one human had made a difference that no alien technology alone could achieve. Lyra looked up at Ethan. "Will you stay just a little while?" she asked. Her small hand reached for his. Ethan smiled warmly. "I have work elsewhere, but I will visit. And remember, you can be brave too. You saw that today. Courage isn't about size or species. It's about choosing to do what is right even when it's hard." Lyra nodded firmly. She understood now what humans brought to the galaxy. Not just strength, but heart. "I will remember," she said softly. Ethan prepared to leave, but before he did, he looked back at Lyra's mother. "Keep strong. Rest. The virus is gone for now, but the important thing is your will to live. That is stronger than any medicine." Lyra's mother smiled weakly. "Thank you, human. You have given me more than life. You have given hope." The doors to the quarantine chamber opened and Ethan stepped out into the glowing streets. He felt the city watching him, the aliens noticing a human's courage for the first time in a long while. Humans had always been underestimated in this part of the galaxy. Today that had changed. One human, acting with compassion and courage, had reminded them all that sometimes the smallest actions could save the greatest lives. As Ethan walked through the city, he thought about the galaxy, full of challenges and dangers, but also full of opportunities to help, to teach, and to inspire. Humans had a unique gift, the ability to act when it mattered most, to make choices that no algorithm or technology could. That gift, he knew, was the reason humanity would survive among the stars. He glanced back at the glowing skyline one last time, knowing that somewhere inside, Lyra and her mother were safe. Their lives had been changed forever, and so had the way the aliens saw humans. Courage, adaptability, and empathy, the traits that defined humanity, had triumphed once again. Ethan turned, blending into the city crowd, just another human among many. But in the hearts of two aliens, he would always be remembered. And in the larger galaxy, the story of what humans could do had begun to spread. The night deepened, lights reflecting on the buildings, and the streets of Nova Arcadia were calm once more. But the message had been sent. Humans were not weak, not passive, not ordinary. Humans could step forward even when no one else would, and make a difference that no technology, no alien intelligence, and no power could achieve alone. And somewhere in the city, Lyra looked out of her window holding her mother close. She whispered softly, "Thank you, human. You are the bravest of all." Ethan's figure disappeared into the streets, but his presence lingered. In a universe of uncertainty, of danger and complexity, humanity had proven itself, not through force but through courage, heart, and the simple act of stepping forward when it mattered most.